to provide permissions. How to provide the permissions in the Linux operating system. And later on, if time permits, then we will be going further into the AWS. What is meant by network and how we can configure network. And tomorrow we will discuss about the networks, and next week onwards we will start the AWS concepts. And today is the last demo for you. This is the demo session, and today will be the last demo for you. And from tomorrow onwards, whoever has enrolled for the course, he will be attended for the. He will be provided with a new link. Okay. So now let's start. So in the last class, we discussed about how to configure a Linux operating system and what are the different commands that we are using in this operating system for the things that we've seen. I will go for the next one.
Sir, your voice is not clear. I'm getting some background noise.
So please check your internet. I need this video. Is everyone is getting the same?
Yes.
You are also getting the background noise.
Yes. And voice is also not
voice
clear.
is not clear, sir, actually. Not able to hear very clearly.
Scroll on. Now, is it clear? But still you are getting the noise.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me now?
Yeah, now it is fine, sir. Now good.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let me create a Linux machine and then we are going to go for the user configuration and what are the permissions that we can provide for the user. And then and after going through this, we are not going into in-depth of Linux operating system. Why? Because that is not our topic. Our topic is completely into the AWS concepts. So here, just for your what are the commands that we will be using in AWS. For that reason, I am going for the I'm going into the Linux operating system. So here, what I'm going to do here is, let me deploy Linux. Let me deploy a server here. I'll go with Amazon Linux only. You can go with the Ubuntu machines also. There is a slight difference between Amazon Linux and Ubuntu. So both are the maximum, the commands will be the same. So I will go with the Amazon Linux only. So the key pair that I am going to use here is, we will discuss about all these key pairs and all the things when we go into the AWS concepts. You don't need to worry about that. Okay. Now, when I launch the instance over here, so let me try to access that server. So the commands that we have seen in the last class is, so print working directory, that is nothing but your pwd command. And then we saw about ls commands and how to configure different ls commands and what are the different options that are available with the ls. And then we gone through the cut command, grep command. These are all the commands that we have seen in the last class. If for the last class videos, you can ask the management, they will provide you the demo links for that. I mean, they will provide the videos for you. You don't need to worry about that. So now what I'm going to do here is, Now, for creating a user, who can create a user? A user who is having the super user permissions, or else a super user, which means a root user can create the user, but the normal user cannot create the user. A normal user cannot create another user. Now, to create the user, we are having a command called as user add command. So we can go for user add, and whatever the username that you want to provide, you can provide the name. So before adding a user, if you want to know who are the users that are created, uh, so what are the names of the users that are created, or also how many members of the users are created. If you want to know about all the user related details, then you can search a particular file, and the file is, so here we are using the cat command. In the last class, we discussed about the cat command, what is meant by a cat command and why we are using that. Actually, cat command is used for reading and displaying the info of the file. To display the what is the information, what is the data that is inside the file. To display that, we will be using the cat command. Cat /etc passwd. So passwd is the file. So this is the path of the file which is located in etc directory. So passwd is a file that is located in etc directory. Now cat means I want to display the content of this particular file. So when I press enter, so these are all the users who has been created. Now, by defaultly, any user who is created, any normal user who is created by the root user, the IDs, if you think the IDs will be generated from 1000 onwards. So what I can do here is I can go for grepping. Okay, so cat /etc passwd, and I give this, and I want to grep, or else I want to get the details from 1000 onwards. If I grep that, grep 1000 is the ID. So only one user is there, that is EC2 user is there, and not more than that. And if you see here, these are the users that we are having. And if you want only the username, then you can go for the cut command. This is also we discussed in the last class. So what you can do here is cut hyphen D, and what I can do here is colon. I can give like this hyphen F1. If I give like this, then you can get only the username. So anyways, what I want to say is how many number of users that are created inside your Linux operating system. If you want to know that, then you can go with this command. Now, when the users are created inside, now how to create the user inside my Linux operating system? It is very easy. There is a command called as user add, or else add user is also a command which you can use. User add, and you can go for the user add and space, and whatever the username that you want to provide, you can provide over there. When you provided this, now the user is created /etc/password. When you run this command again, now you can see, if you see here, see there, Anil is the user who has created with the user ID 1001. So up to 1000, whatever the IDs are there, all the IDs will be given for the system users. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is, user creation is not enough. In Linux operating system, user need to have the security also. For that, what I'm going to do, password Anil. So I will give the password for Anil. So passwd, and if you provide the username, it will ask you to provide the password. And now I will provide the password for the user. Okay. Now when I provide the password for the user, it will be accepted. Now, whatever the password that you are giving, it is not displayed on the security purposes. The password will not be displayed on the Linux operating system. So this is how you can you can create a user. You can modify so many permissions and all the things. So to modify the user, you can change the user passwords and all the concept, but we are not into that. We are not into that complete Linux funda. So today we will be seeing the Linux permissions. What are the permissions that that a particular user can get, and that a file can get. So for example, there are multiple files are there. For example, if you see here we don't have any sort of files. Now to create a file, we can use touch command, touch aws.txt. This is the file which I have created. Now, if you see aws.txt is there, and to find out the complete details of aws.txt, here you can see there are some options. So overall, there are some columns are there, but before this RWR, there is a hyphen. Now, when I'm trying to create a directory, mkdir, and I will try to create AWS. Now, if you see, we have created AWS, but what before the directory you are having, whenever the directory is created, what before the permissions you are having a letter called as D. D represents directory. And here you can see hyphen. Hyphen represents a normal file. And for example, what I want to do here is, yeah, I will create a another file over here. So touch soft line or else soft file. Okay. Now, if you see here, a file has been created and it doesn't have any letter before this. If there is no letters are there, then that is a regular file or normal file where you can store the data. Now, what I will do here is cd/home. Now, when you see here, we are having two directories. What I will do here is there is another option called as soft link. Okay, ln-s. So I want to create, or else there is a file in root directory. In root directory, there is a file called as a soft file. So I want to create a link for that file, and the file link is dev. Okay, if you see here, there you go. So even before the file, you are having L option. If you see this L option, the L option represents that it is a link file, and the link file is pointing towards root soft file, which means it's like a shortcut. So if you want to access, whenever you are accessing this file, the file will be directly accessed towards your soft file. Okay. So that's about what is meant by what are the different types of file and how you can fetch the different types of files in the Linux operating system. And later on, what you can do here is you need to understand the file permissions. If you see here, what are the different file permissions that we are having? Here you can see RW, R. What are these? So here for the user or else for the owner who has created the file, he is having read-write access. By default, the root user files will have all the files will have, the user will have the read-write access. And these three columns where you can see there are three another columns. These three columns belongs to the group. So to whichever the group the file is belongs to, and these three columns belongs to others. So this is how you need to understand. For example, there are overall there are some, what I can say, 9 permissions are there. If you see here, 9 options or else 9 columns are there here. These 9 columns belongs to the users user permissions. If you see, so here you can see these are the first three columns belongs to the user, and next 3 columns belongs to the group, and the next 3 columns belongs to the others in the sense other users. So what I can say, user, okay, and this belongs to group, and this belongs to others. So if you want to add any permission for any user, if you want to provide any permission for the user, so who is the owner, then what you can do is chmod. You can use the command chmod u plus x, which means that we are providing the execution permissions. So actually permissions are of 3 types again: read permission, write permission, and execute permission. Read permission in the sense we are providing the user with the read permissions, where he can see what is the content inside the file. And write permission means the user can write the data, whatever the data he wants, he can write the data into the file, which means that editing option will be provided for the user. X means execution permission. Execution permission in the sense for each and every file, all the files will not be executed, but some files definitely has to be executed. For example, if I will go into this AWS.txt or else soft file is there. Just try to understand. There is a file called a soft file. What I am going to do here is nano soft file. When I give this soft file, so here I will provide some executable content. So shebang /bin/bash. Actually, it's a shell file. So I'm writing some shell scripting over here. Not a very big shell script, but yes, normally I'm writing here echo. So what I can do here is $date. I will execute this, and then what I want to do here is again, okay, echo $date. I'll provide like this. And then what is my requirement? So I want to get the date, and then for example, let me do one thing. I will write a small thing, a equal to 10 and b equal to 20, for example, b equal to 20 and c equal to, what I can do here is c equal to dollar expr dollar a plus dollar b. So I want to get the value of c. So for that, what I will do here is echo $C. When I give like this, now it has to execute $C value. Okay, so this is what the program which I have written. So now what I am going to do here is, or else here what you can do is, if you want to variabilize this, so a and b. So here what you can do here is echo read the value of a. Okay, so here I will provide like this, and there is a command called as read command, read EA. Okay, and then what I can do here is, here also you can do the same, echo read the value of b, which means I am variabilizing that. So read the value of b, and there is a command called as read b. When I give the option like this, so finally what is the output that I want to get? I want to get the value as c. Now let me check here. So if at all, if I give like this, you can see here. So to execute this file, to execute the soft file, what I can do here is /soft file. If I give the command like this, you can see that permission denied. You don't have the permission to execute that particular command or else particular file. Why? If you see here, what are the permissions does the user is having? If you see overall there, the user doesn't have X means execution permission. So to provide the execution permission for the user, what I can do here is chmod u plus X and the file called as soft file. For the soft file, I am providing the execution permission. Now, if you see here, you need to get the execution permission over here. Why? Chmod 744 soft file. Now you got the execution permission. Okay, so like this you can get the execution permission for the users. So I think there I have given the capital X, but here mistake is I have to give the X like this. Okay, that's fine. Now you have provided the execution permission for the user. Now what you can do, /soft file. When you execute this, see that it is asking for, it is displaying the date and it is asking for the value of A. The value of A is 100 and the value of B is 200. Now you have to get the value of C. So there is a small syntax error. I will rectify that, but this is how you can execute the file. If you don't have the execution permission, you will not get any sort of output. Okay. So I will rectify it later. So the main syntax error is this one. You need to provide the space between all the variables. Now, if you see .soft file, and here you have to provide 100, and if I provide 200 or 2000, then if you see that I got the permission as 300, the output, sorry, I got the value as 300 for the C value. So this is how you can execute any file. If you don't have the execution permission, then you cannot execute. So read, write, and execution permissions are there. For example, if I want to remove the permissions, so what I can do here is chmod u minus read write access on soft file. So the user, I have removed the read write access for the user. If you see here, so the user doesn't have read write access. Now I will go with the nano soft file. As a root user, he can do anything. Right now we are logged into the root user, he can do anything. If you see hello world, he can write it. Why? Because he is a root user. He is having all the permissions, so he can do that. But a normal user cannot do that. For example, I will switch to Anil, SU Anil, or else SU Anil, and I will go to his home page. If you see here, so inside the home directory, he doesn't have any files. For example, let me create a user nano, or also let me create a file here, nano dev. So this is the file that I want to create, and I will give some content, hello world. Okay, and I will save the file. And when you see here, the user is having file called as dev. Now what I'm going to do here is chmod u minus w and x. So I am not I am removing the user permissions, like read and execute permissions on the development file. Now when you see here, the user doesn't have read access, and also I will remove the permissions for the group also. Chmod g minus wx on dev. So the group will be for the group also the permissions are removed. Okay. Now if you go to the dev file, if you go to the dev file, what it is going to display, see here, the file is unwritable, which means that you don't have the permission to edit, to enter any text inside this particular file. So why I am getting that? Because the file, if you see the permissions are saying that you are only having the read-only access. Now what I am going to do here is, if you want to provide the permissions, either you can go in the symbolic manner. These are all the symbolic manner. This is all about the symbolic permissions. So now if you see here, u minus means removing the permissions, plus means adding the permissions. Which type of permission? If you want to add read permission, you have to give R. If you want to provide write permission, you have to provide W. If you want to provide execute permission, you have to give the X. And for which users, for the user or for group, depending upon your requirement, you have to provide the details like this. Now this is about the symbolic way of giving the permissions, but there is another way where you can go with the numeric manner. How to provide the permissions in the numeric manner? So you can provide the permissions in the numeric manner. So that is octodecimal manner. So octodecimal means the values will be ranging from 0 to 7. There are 8 numbers only. Octa means 8 numbers. So the value ranges from 0 to 7. Now, if you see here, 0 can be written in the binary format. So if you, when you go back here, the 0 can be written in the binary format as 000. So this is the way we can write 0. When you go for 1 can be written in the binary format as 001, and 2 can be written in the binary format as you have to go through the binary format, guys. Why? Because it's a it is in the intermediate, you will get this binary to normal decimal number to binary conversions and binary to decimal conversions. Go through the binary format once. We don't read all these things, but for your understanding, I am saying this. And 3 can be written as 011. Okay. And 4 can be written as 100. And 5 can be written as 101. And 6 can be written as 110, and 7 can be written as 111. So if you see here, this is how we can write the code, or else this is how we can write the values. Now, when you see here, what are these values? These values are, if you see, 0, 0, 0. So if you go back here, try to understand the concept. So this is a binary format, and this belongs to, what I can do here is this single zero, this first zero, whatever the first zero is there, the first zero belongs to read, and the second zero belongs to write, and the third digit belongs to execute. Now, if you see, this is how we can, and we need to understand the concept here. Now, for example, if all zeros are there, if I am representing zero format, so here, what I will do, I will go for ch mod 0 when I give the decimal number as 0. So in the binary format, if you see in the binary format, what is that number? 3 zeros, which means that read is 0. 0 in the sense, read permissions are not there. Write is also 0. Then also write permissions are there. Execution value is also 0, which means that the execute permissions are also not there. So if at all, if you give 0, a decimal number 0, the meaning is that there is no read, write, and execute access. Now, when I provide 1, so if I give 1 over here, if I provide 1 over here, the meaning is that user, or also any person who when we provide 1 over there, then the meaning is that it is execution permission. Now, if you provide 2, write permission. If you provide 4 over the read only permission, like that, depending upon the permission values, what is the numeric number that we are providing? Depending upon the numeric number, you need to consider the read write permissions. So here you have to provide, for the user, you have to provide a number. I will provide 7. And for the group, you have to provide a number that is 4. For example, for the group, for the others, you have to provide a permission that is 5. So what is the values of 7, 4, 5? If you see here, 7 means all permissions are there. Read, write, execute permissions are there. And 5 means read and execute permissions are there, but not the write permission. 4 means read only permission. So this is how you can see. So the user will have all the permissions. The group will have only read permission, and the others will have only read and executable permissions. So how can I write that? So if I go for 745 dev, when I give the command like this, and if you see that, so the user is having read, write, and execute access. The group is having read only permission. And if you see the others are having read and execute permission. That is the meaning of 745. So this is how you can provide the permissions for the, files. Okay, did you understand the concept? Is there any doubt here regarding the permissions? We are not going in depth into that, but basic how we can provide the permissions. Why? Because when we go for the NAT gateway, there we need to provide the permissions for the PEM file. So that is the reason I am saying you this. Did you understand the concept? Is there any doubts over there? Any queries you can ask me. Okay. So no doubts. So then we can go further into the next concept. Guys, please respond, please. Is there anybody?
No doubts. I'm good.
Okay. I think only one person is there.
All clear, sir.
Okay, done. Now let us go back to the next concept. So here, this is about the thing which I want to say. When we go for the next one, before, so what I want to do, as per the Linux, so these are more than enough. So in the last class, we discussed about some basic commands like ls, ll, cat, grep, and now we have seen how to add the user and how to provide the permissions for the user and all the things. So today, the next concept that we are going to discuss here is storage regarding things. So how you can add a storage. When you see here, there is a command called as lsblk. If you execute this command, lsblk, in the sense list block devices. So storage devices are all block devices. Here you can see we have a hard disk drive which is of 8 GB size, and there is a partition into that. So this is how you can execute the what is the different block devices that are added to your server. And there is one more option that is called as df-h is also available, where it is going to display the complete memory regarding your server regarding it is going to display the memory options. Okay, that the memory that is completely stored inside your server. If at all, if I want to display that, then I can go for df-h. These are the options that you are having to display the what are the block devices that are connected to your server. Now, when we go back to the next one, I just want to go through the networking concept. So today we will be completing the networking, and then we will be going further into the AWS concept. So as per my knowledge, I will be completing the AWS account creation today. And from tomorrow onwards, we will start VPC configuration. Now, if you see, first of all, you need to understand the concept called as network. What is meant by network? Okay, what is meant by a network? And then what you need to understand here is IP addresses. You need to understand one more thing, that is IP addresses, and then you need to understand CIDR range. So first of all, what is meant by a network? Network means any two devices that are interconnected with the help of a cable or a transmission media is called as network. Again, I am repeating, any two devices that are interconnected with the help of a cable or else any transmission media, then that is called as a network. So if you see, I am having a computer or else server in my office, and there is another server in the same office. Now I want to transmit the data from this computer to the another computer. How can you transmit the data from one server to the another server? If there are two servers in the location, in the same location, or else it might be in different location also, how can you transmit the data? If you don't know what is meant by network, don't worry. So I will discuss about that. But if you're having two different devices in two different locations, two devices in the different location, how can you transmit the data? Can you please provide the response for this?
We can provide through network connecting two devices.
Okay, if there is no network, then how can you transmit the data? So we are into the networking concept. It is a basic networking concept. Try to understand, there is no network. Now I want to transmit the data. How can you transmit? There is some 1
other
GB of data is there. Yeah.
Like we can use up like a thumb drives or some other.
Yeah, we can use the pen drive, or else we can use the hard disk drive, or else anything that are used to transmit the data.
Yes.
Now there is a problem here. We have to purchase another device and all the things. That is something tricky thing. Now to make the communication, to transmit the data, that's fine. For example, I hosted a website. So if you want to transmit the data, you can transmit the data by connecting a pen drive. You can collect all the data from this server and you can transmit the data to the another server. When it is a data, when you are having a data. But now the condition is, for example, I have hosted a website over here. in the server. For example, now as of now, you are having this AWS website, or else you can go with somewhere like Amazon.in. If there is a website like this, if you want to access this, or else there is ICICIbank.com. If you want to access these websites, these websites are posted in the servers. Inside the servers, you are having this. Whenever you are having these websites in the server, how can you access that? So the user is located in all around the world, which means that the users can be in any part of the world. He want to access this website, which is hosted in a server. Now, to host that, to make the communication with the server, then definitely we need to have a connectivity. So we need to have a connectivity that is called as network. So establishing the communication between two devices with a transmission media is called as a network. Now, so how these two devices can communicate? There is a client over here. this computer is the client computer and this computer is the server computer. How they will communicate with each other. So to make the communication between the two servers or two devices, definitely you need to have a particular address. A logical address should be there. For the client, you need to have the address called as IP address. In the client also, you need to have the IP address, and as well as for the server also, you need to have the IP address. So without this IP address, we cannot make the communication between the devices. So IP addresses are very, very, very important. In networking, without IP address, we cannot make any sort of communication. Okay. Now, with the help of IP address, we can transmit the data. We can access the data of one device into the another device by configuring the network. Just try to understand, just try to analyze this example. I'm just saying it as an example. If you are having a mobile phone and your friend is also having a mobile phone, or else you want to call some bank customer care. Okay, bank customer care or else any customer care services. So without having the number, is it possible to make the communication with them? If you don't know, if there is some unknown person is there and your parents or else your manager want to ask you to communicate the same with the, if your manager ask you to communicate something to the opposite person, when he asked you to communicate something to the opposite person, the manager didn't give his identity in the sense he didn't provide the phone number to you. So how can you communicate? So it is not possible to make the communication. So in the same manner here, there are two devices. Just try to analyze this. This is one of the mobile and this is the another mobile. To make the communication between both the mobiles, definitely you need to have the mobile number. In the same manner, in networking, when you come to the networking, this is one of the computer. So wherever you can see, this is one of the computer and there is one more computer over here. If you want to make the communication between these two devices, then you need to have a logical number or else logical address, which is called as an IP address. Without IP address, you cannot make the communication. So you need to have the IP addresses. Okay. So what is this IP address? An IP address is a logical numbering system which will provide, which is helpful for you to make the communication between the devices. So an IP address is a 32-bit logical address. It is a 32-bit logical address to make the communication between the devices. Okay, we can provide the IP addresses between what I can say to make communication between the devices. Okay, so this is called as an IP address. Okay, so what is this 32-bit? You don't need to worry about all the 32-bit on all the things. Now, whatever the IP address that you are looking, whenever we are having any IP address will be divided into 4 parts. Now, each part will be, by default, I am saying this, guys, if you want to understand IP address in depth, you can search in my YouTube channel. You will having this IP address configuration, what is meant by binary, by how we are going to get the binary numbers and how we are converting that. Everything is available over there. But now what I want to say here is the IP address will be divided into 4 portions. Now, whatever you are having, it will be you can see the IP address like this: A dot, B dot, C dot, D. Now, these dotting notations, whatever the dotted notation, these will separate each portion. So in each portion, the IP address range will be starting from 0 to 255. The maximum range will be 255 only. The number will be 255. After that, you don't have any number like 256. The number will not be available for you. So 0 to 255 will be there. For example, an IP address can be written like this: 192.168. Some 254. Somewhere like 100. If at all, if you see here, this is the IP address which we can write. So as I already said you that the numbers will be ranging from 0 to 255 in each and every octet. So here also you will have 192, which means that that number is ranging from 0 to 255. So in each and every portion here in IP address, that portion is called as an octet. So these octet will have the numbers from 0 to 255 only. Now, if you see here we are having multiple numbers. For example, there is another IP address. For example, 192.168, somewhere like 254.190 is the IP address. This is the another IP address which is assigned to the computer. So if I have to say, this is the IP address which is assigned to one of the computer over here. To this server, I assign the IP address like this, and there is another IP address which I am assigning to this server also. To the another server also, I am assigning the IP address over here. Now, for example, if I want to know whether these two servers belongs to the same range or different range, if I want to know whether these two belongs to the same network or different network, how can I understand? For example, let me try to explain you in this manner. There is a summit going. There is a technical summit going in a particular college, or else in a particular company. There is a technical summit going. So many people has came from different organizations. So multiple people came into this technical summit from different organizations. So now I want to segregate the people of each and every organization. Now I want to segregate. So many people came here. So for example, so there is a person who has came for this summit from TCS. There are some persons who has came for this summit from TCS. Okay, and there are some persons who has came from Wipro, and there are some persons who has came from Infosys. Like that, there are so many persons who has came to this summit from different companies. When they have came to the summit from different companies, how can I segregate them? How can I understand, or else how can I find that this particular people belongs to this particular company, this particular people belongs to this particular company? How I am going to segregate them? So for this summit, what I am going to do here is I ask the each and every person to carry out the identity card, to carry out the company identity card with them. So when they carry out some company identity card with them, on the company identity card, there will be a notation, there will be the company name. So this depending upon the company name, so whatever the company, when they are carrying out the identity card on the company name, there will be the name of the company. So that is the identification of that particular person. This particular employee belongs to this company. This particular employee belongs to this particular company. So with the identification, I can segregate the users. In the same manner, now there are so many computers inside my network. For example, there are so many computers inside my network. So this is computer 1. Like that, I am having multiple computers. Now what I want to do, these are all interconnected with each other, but the IP address of the network, but the IP address of this computers are not belongs to same network. How can I say that? So how I can analyze? So for example, I am assigning an IP address to this computer. The IP address that I am assigning here is, just try to understand. The IP address that I am assigning to this computer is 192.168.1.100. This is the IP address which I am assigning. And there is one more IP address which I am assigning to the another computer. For this computer, I am assigning like 192.168.1.101. Okay. And there is one more computer over here. Here I am assigning like 110. And there is another computer over here, somewhere like 10.25.0.100. This is the IP address which I am assigning for the computer. Okay, there is another computer also. For example, I have given like this. Now the last if you see here, I want to analyze, if I want to analyze whether these computer belongs to the same network or different network. How can you analyze that? For example, there is 172.16.75.87 is there. Now, these are all the IP addresses that are assigned to your computers. Now, how can you understand? How can you analyze that these computer belongs to the same network and these computer belongs to the different network? I just provide the number. Okay, if there is, if I forgot, so in the previous company example, all the persons came without the identity card. All the persons who has entered into the hall without identity card, how those persons are recognized these particular employee belongs to this particular company, how the author how the organization or organizer will understand that this particular employee belongs to this particular company. If all the users or else all the employees who has entered into the hall, if they don't carry any identity card, how the organizer will understand that? In the same manner, it is not possible to analyze. So it is not possible to segregate the employees. Why? Because there is no identity. Here also we have assigned IP addresses to the computers. We have assigned the IP addresses to the computer. So the opposite computer has to understand that this particular IP is coming from this particular network. To segregate the network and the host portion. So hosts are nothing but the computers, any devices. Here in this example, here you can see the hosts are nothing but the employees. Here in the previous example, whatever you see here, the hosts are nothing but the employees. This is one host, this is the second host. Like that, you are having the employees. In this example, the hosts are nothing but your computers. Whatever you see, the hosts are nothing but your computers. Okay. Here in this example, the hosts are nothing but your computers. Now, whenever we are seeing the computers over here, now you need to understand that, okay, all the host belongs to the same network or different network. How can we differentiate that? Here the network is nothing but your identification. To differentiate the host and network portions, we are having a concept called as subnet mask. Like your identity card, in networking, you are having a concept called as subnet mask. What is the subnet mask is going to do? Subnet mask will divide the host portion and network portion of your IP address. So it is going to segregate this IP address belongs to this particular network. This IP address belongs to this particular network, as like your identity card. ID card will be assigned to the user. When the identity card is assigned for the user, we can segregate the user that this particular person belongs to this particular company and this particular person belongs to this particular company. Depending upon that, we are going to segregate. Now, if you see here the subnet mask, inside the subnet mask is also a 32-bit logical address. So the subnet mask will be looking like this: 255.0.0.0 and 255.255.0.0.0 and 255.255.255.0. These are the three types of default subnet masks that we are having. When we go for the networking configuration, it is altogether a very big concept which you have to understand. But as of now, when you see here, this is the subnet mask which you are having. So 255.0.0.0. The meaning of this is, when you see here, if I am getting an IP, if I am giving any IP address 10.25.67.89, this is the IP address which I am providing. And you definitely need to provide the subnet mask. Without subnet mask, you cannot understand whether this IP address belongs to the network or not. Now, when you see here you are having 255. In the first octet, you are having the 255. So the subnet mask is saying that to the IP address, to the IP address, it is saying that. So the first octet is the network octet. Wherever you are finding 255 in the subnet mask, it is going to say that the first octet is the network octet. So this octet is the network octet. And the remaining 3 octets, whatever you can see here, you are having zeros. The meaning of this is the remaining 3 octets are the host octets. Host octets are, we can call them, host octets are nothing but we can provide any number from 0 to 255, ranging from 0 to 255, like this. So how this network can be represented? Any network can be represented with the network number. So the network number is 10 and the remaining numbers will be 000. So this is how we are going to represent the network. So if you see the numbering over here, the subnet mask is having a default subnet mask as 255.0.0.0. It represents that the IP address first octet is the network octet and remaining 3 octets are the host octets, which can be changed, but the network octet cannot be changed. If I change the network octet, so for example, so 10.45.67.89, and there is one more IP address like 11.25.45.67, and subnet mask for both the IP addresses are like this. So the subnet mask for both the IP addresses are 255.0.0.0. For this IP, the subnet mask is 255.0.0.0, and for this IP address also the subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. So the subnet mask is representing that. So in the first octet is the network octet. Now you can see here, this belongs to the 10 network and this belongs to the 11 network. The meaning of this is both belongs to the different networks. Depending upon the subnet mask, you can easily understand that. Now, for example, I have given with the number 172.65.78.99. This is the IP address which I was given with, and the subnet mask is 255.255.0.0. And there is another IP address that is 172.56.89.96. This is the another IP address which is provided. Now, if you see here, the subnet mask is representing that there are two network octets are there. Wherever you can find 255, the meaning is that there are two network octets, which means that this belongs to the network octet and this also belongs to the network octet. These two are the network octets. So the network range is, for this IP address, the network range is, the network ID is 172.65.0.0. The name itself indicates network ID. So network identification. So in this between these zeros, so simply I can call it as x dot x. The meaning is that you can put any numbers ranging from 0 to 255. Okay, but if you completely make this host bits as 0, then that is called as an identifier. So here your computers cannot be assigned with the identifiers. Okay, network identifiers cannot be assigned to your computers. But anyways, you can put any number from 0 to 255. Now here you can see 255, 255.00. So for this IP address also, the same subnet mask is applied. So this belongs to 172.56.0.0. This is the network identification. So if here you can see 172, 172 is common in both the IPs. But when you come back to the next octet, here you are having 65 and here you are having 56. The meaning of this is both belongs to the different network. So depending upon your subnet mask, you can differentiate whether these belongs to the same network or different network. So the next one is, for example, there is an IP. This one you have to say there is an IP address with the IP as 192.168.65.78, and there is one more IP address like 192.168.54.99. Now my question is, the subnet mask is that 255, 255, 255.0. The question is whether these two IPs belongs to the same network or different network.
Same network.
Any another?
Sir, different networks. 65 and 54 are different. That's right.
Yeah, both are different network.
Okay, both belongs to the different network. Any another answers? Fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope you understand this concept. So these two IP addresses belongs to the different network. So if you see the subnet mask over here, the subnet mask is saying that 255, 255, 255, which means that there are three different octets. Three octets are there. So the three numbers or else three octet portions of the IP address should be the same. So here you can see the first two octets are the same, but the third octet belongs to the different number. So the meaning is that this particular IP addresses belongs to the different network. Now, as per this given diagram, so how can I write this? What I can say, how can I write this subnet mask? So this subnet mask is written as /8/8. Why? Because so this is the octet. So if you want to write this 255 in the binary format, try to understand if you want to write the 255 in the binary format, how can you write that? So the 255 can be written as 8 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 ones can be written. So what is the meaning of that? So it is completely again coming back to binary conversions. So try to go through the binary conversions also one time. So 2 to the power of 2 power 7 into 1 plus 2 power 6 2 power 6 into 1, like that you can write. So there are 8 ones, right? So what I can do here is copy this plus 2 power 5 plus 1. Okay, 2 power 4 plus 1, 2 cube plus 1, 2 square plus 1, and 2 power 1 plus 1. Sorry, 2 square is also 2 power 1 plus 1 into 1, and 2 power 0 into 1. So if you see here, there are 8 digits. So when you combine these 8 digits, 2 power 0 into 1, anything power 0 is 1. So what is the value? First of all, 2 power 7, 2 power 7 into 1, that is 128. 2 power 7 value is 128, plus 2 power 6 value is 64, plus 2 power 5 value is 32, 2 power 4 value is 16, 2 power 3, which means 2 cube is 8, 2 power 2, 2 square is 4, 2 power 1 is 1, sorry, 2 power 1 is 2, and 2 power 0 is 1. Now this, when you combine all these digits, when you combine all these decimal digits, then you are going to get the value as 255. 255. So if you can see here, there are 8 ones in the binary format. So this is the decimal number which can be converted into the binary format like this. So 8 ones means 255. So here /8 means I am having only 255 that represents the subnet mask. 255.0.0.0 slash notation will provide you the subnet mask. Now, if you can see here, there are two 255s. How can I represent that /16? Here you are having 255.255.255. 3 255s are there. So simply I can give it as /24. Depending upon number of 255s, each 255 is considered as 8 bits. And when you are having 2 255s, then they will be represented as /16. And if you see, there are 3 255s, then that can be represented as /24. Now, when you see here, how many 0 values are there? If you see, there are 2 0 values, which means that each 0 can be represented as 8 zeros. The decimal 0 value can be represented as 8 zeros in the binary format. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So total, how many zeros will be there in this? So here I am having 24 zeros. Here I am having 16 zeros. Here I am having 8 zeros in the binary format. So depending upon the number of zeros, we can understand total number of devices that can be connected in that particular network. For example, here I am having 16 zeros. The meaning of that is I can connect up to 2 to the power of 16 minus 2 devices. Here you can see in the second subnet mask, you are having 16 host bits. 16 network bits are there, as well as 16 host bits are there. So the host bit represents the number of devices that can be connected in the network. So if you see here, 2 to the power of, come on. If you see here, 2 to the power of 16, the meaning is that if you want to calculate, you can calculate 2 power 16 value is 65,536 is the value that you are going to get. So you have to subtract 2 IP addresses, which are one for network ID and broadcast ID. You don't need to worry about that, but 2 IP addresses we will not use. So when you see here, which means 65,534 devices I can connect if at all, if the subnet mask is /16. In the same manner, if the subnet mask is /8, so here you can see, here you can see /8 is there. So how can I represent the /8? How many devices I can connect? So /8 means only the network bits are 8 network bits, but remaining 3 portions are the host portions, which means that belongs to the device options. How many computers I can connect? So depending upon that, 2 to the power of 24 computers I can connect. So the meaning is that 1,67,77,216 devices I can, 216 IPs I will get. Among those, I have to subtract 2. So which means that I can get around 1 crore devices can be created inside this particular network. When you see the next one is 255.255.255.0. There are 3 network portion and only 1 host portion is there. So that here you are having only 8 bits. So 8 bits in the sense 2 to the power of 8, that equal to 256, which means that if at all, if any network is given 255.255.255.0, then the meaning is that I can create, or else I can connect up to what I can say, 254 devices. These many number of devices I can connect. So this is how, depending upon the subnet mask, you can understand that how many devices can be connected inside the network. Now, my question here is, again, when I go back to the concept here, for example, there is a very big network. So this is the network which I am having with the subnet mask as /16. So can you tell me /16 means how many devices I can connect? As per the mathematical calculations which we have given, which I have provided over here, /16 means how many devices I can connect?
65,534.
Yeah, I can connect around 65,000 devices. For example, now what I want to do here is I want to divide this network into 256 portions. I have to divide this network. I want to divide this network into 256 portions, which means a small networks. Now, each and every network, for example, I am dividing this network like this. So, if there is a very big city is there, I can divide the city into multiple subdivisions or subnetworks. Okay, so here I have divided this network into 256 networks. And inside this network, I will provide /8. Simply what I will do here is /24. I will provide /24. I will provide. Now, if you see /24 means what is the value? What is the value when I provide /24? The value is 256, which means that inside this very big network, whatever the /16 network is there, I divided that network into subnetworks. So you are having, I am getting like /24, and here again I can go with another /24, like that 256 networks I can create. Now, can you tell me, if I consider this as a big network, with respect to the networking concept, this belongs to a very big network. So under this network, I am having some subnets. This is one subnet. This is the another subnet, which I am having. I am having another subnet. These are all the subnetworks of this very big network. Okay. So which means that by defaultly, one network will not communicate with the another network. This network will not communicate with the second network, and second network will not communicate with the third network. Why? Because their networking are different. If you see here, for example, when I give like this 192.168.0.0/16, this is the very big network, that is 65,000 devices I can connect. Among that, I am dividing that network into multiple network, like 192.168.1.0/24, 192.168.2.0/24, 192.168.3.0/24. Like that, I am dividing each and every network. When I am dividing that, now here you can see every network is a different network. One network cannot communicate with the another network. Different networks by defaultly they will not communicate until we provide the routing. So routing should be enabled to make the communication. We need to specify the route. So if you see here, these are all the childs for this parent. This is the parent network and this is the child network. So one child network will not communicate with the another child network until we provide the routing. But by defaultly, they can communicate with the parent network. Why? Because they are originated from this network only. So they can communicate with the parent network, but one child network will not communicate with the another child network until you got the communication methodology, until you got the routing configuration. One child will not communicate with the another child and the subnetwork. So you have to create the routing concept, but here they will communicate with the parent network defaultly. So this is the point which you need to understand. Now, why we are saying that? Because whenever we go for the VPCs, inside the VPCs, we will be making the same configuration. I will discuss about that in the VPC configuration. But as of now, This is about what we are going to say. Okay, so that's about your IP address configurations and how IP addresses are differentiated and what is meant by a subnet mask and how many devices can be configured in the subnet mask and how you can segregate a very big network into the small networks. These are the concepts that I want to show you. I think I have given you the proper configuration regarding the networking concept. So that's about the networking concepts. And if you want to create any AWS account, I don't know how many people are having the AWS account. Try to create an AWS account. As it is a, what I want to say here is, as it is a demo sessions. So I have completed the networking configuration and all the things. Tomorrow we will start the VPC configuration, and then we will be diving into the AWS concepts. So is there any questions that you want to ask me now? You can ask me. 10 minutes of the time is there. As it is a demo session, I am winding up the session right here. So tomorrow onwards, you will have the session for 2 hours. More than 2 hours or 2 hour sessions will be there. Any questions you want to ask me, you can ask me.
So this class is only for the weekend, right?
Yeah, this is only the weekend batch. Saturday and Sunday will be the sessions.
Okay, every day 2 hours.
Every day 2 hours. So 10 weekends will be there.
Okay.
So 10 into 4, which means that 40 hours of session will be there.
So while developing or while working on AWS, like any of the service, if I get any issue, then we'll get support or not, like anytime.
So anytime support means sometimes I will be in the work.
Okay.
If I am so what I can say, if I
So
am
any,
free, definitely I will provide the response for you.
or any other community where we can post those issues.
Let us create a Telegram group. In the Telegram group, I will provide all the details.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Questions?
do we
Any other?
hands-on, sir? To
Yes.
practice. Hands-on, sir.
Hands-on practice. Everything is a practical only. Here, there is no theoretical concepts. Everything, whatever we are discussing, that will be the practical only. You will get hands-on. So you will get the videos every day. Whenever the class is completed, you will get the videos regarding that.
Where we can practice that practical, sir?
On your computer only.
By creating the AWS account, no, sir?
Obviously. Okay, you have to create an AWS account for this.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Questions, guys? Any another?
So how to create that AWS account? Is it payable or how is it?
You can create a free tier account. You can create a free tier account. So I don't know how many members or if you are having the AWS account. If all doesn't have the AWS account, let us create that. So what I will do here is I will provide you the sharing permission. Whoever want to create the AWS account, raise their hand. And to create that AWS account, the condition is that everybody, at least you need to have a debit card of Visa or Master. Visa or MasterCard should be there, and that to be a private bank that is well and good, like ICICI and HDFC. Any another privatized bank is good. So if anybody are having this Visa and MasterCard, and if they don't have the AWS account, please raise your hand so that we can create the AWS account right now. Okay, so what I will do here is, Sunil, I'm sharing you the I'm providing you the presenter permission. You can share your screen. Okay. What I will do here is I will make you as a host. Please share your screen so that I will tell how to create the AWS account. We will create an AWS account today. I hope that you are having Visa or MasterCard. So I'm making you as a presenter. Go on.
Just wait. Let me check what exactly the card is. Just give me a minute. Yeah.
Sure. If you are having the Paytm bank account, and for the Paytm bank also, if at all, if you are having this digitalized MasterCard or Visa card, you can create the account. For the Paytm users also, the account will be available.
So what about GP?
Sorry?
What about GPay? Whether I'm having account Mastercard in GPay, so is it eligible to create a
You did not hear
account
me
on?
correctly. You did not hear me correctly. I am not talking about the UPI payments. I am talking about the card payments only. Why? Because AWS will accept the card. First of all, you need to have a card to get the account. Okay. So what I'm saying here, Paytm bank account, if you are having the Paytm bank account, you will get a card for that bank account. So with that card, you can create.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mastercard is okay, right?
Yeah, MasterCard is fine.
Okay. Yeah, I do have.
So, okay, let me do one thing. I'll make you as a presenter. Okay. Share your screen.
Where do I get that option? Share screen.
You are using Zoom only, right?
Yeah.
You
Got
can
it.
see down. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
see down. There is an option called a share screen option.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay. So go to aws.amazon.com. aws.amazon.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Here you can create. There you go. Get started for free, or else create an AWS account also. Either the one, you can click on that.
Yeah.
Create a free account. So free account means whatever the resources that you are using are not free for you. Every resource is not free. Okay. So
Okay.
some resources you have to pay. I will tell you about the resources which you have to pay. Minimum 1,000 rupees you have to spend on this AWS when you do the practicals. Okay.
Okay.
Provide your root email address, which is your Gmail address. Okay. Whatever the name that you want to give, you can give that name. Verify the email address. For your email, you will get a code, verification code. Provide the same over there. Okay. Provide the password, whatever the password is that you want to set, provide the password over there. Okay. So personal use, not for the business, personal use. And provide the name and your phone number. Select the country, India. And the address. You don't need to provide the entire address, just normally you can provide that. Okay. Now select the I have read and agree the terms and conditions. Continue. Here you need to provide your information.
can stop sharing.
Okay. No. So you can select no option, if you want. Yeah, continue. Here it will be redirecting you to the merchandise page. Okay. You need to provide the OTP. So okay, hold on. Yeah. How you want to get the verification, whether you want to get the verification via SMS or call. So you will get a, just go with the text message only, select the country and provide the number. Okay, captcha SFGYTS. Send SMS and verify the code. You will get a code over there. Verify it. So this is about the support. So you have to select the basic support only. Don't select the developer or business support.
Okay.
If you select that, if you don't use the AWS account, if you don't use the services also for this, you need to pay for that $29 or $100 every month.
Okay.
So I will please go with the basic support only. So now go to AWS Management Console. Okay, you have to sign in and provide the details, user details, like user, whatever the email address that you have provided and the password.
Sir, I want to know one thing here, root user and IAM user, what is different between them?
You will come to know when we discuss about the identity and access management. There are two types of users. One is the root user, who is the owner of this particular account, and we can create an IAM user. So identity and access management, here what we can do in a company, there will be several users. For each and every user, I cannot provide all the permissions, right? On my account, I will provide only certain permissions to the certain users. So those users we can create in the IAM console, and those are called as IAM users. You can come to know about that when we discuss about the IAM console. Okay, that's it. You can go up. So this is how you can create your AWS account. And if you click on the services, you can see multiple services like VPC and all the configuration. This is the AWS console which you will get. And tomorrow onwards, if you go to the network and content delivery, there you can see, there you are having VPC. If you go down, you are having the VPC configurations on the right side. If you go down, you can have the VPC configurations. Okay, so what is this virtual private cloud and all the things we will discuss in the next class onwards. From the next class, we'll discuss about that. Okay, so that's about right now. You don't have the permission. Go to the another region, North Virginia region. Just now we have created the you have created your account, right? So here you can see on the right side, you can see Tokyo is there. Besides your name, you are having Tokyo. That is about selecting the region. You can select the multiple regions over there, like North Virginia and all the things. We will discuss about these regions and about the AWS console in the next class. So as of now, this is how you can create your AWS account. Okay. From tomorrow onwards, we will be starting the AWS, and tomorrow, as per my knowledge, we will be completing the VPC and peering also. I will try to complete peering. So from next week onwards, we will start in depth into the NAT gateway, endpoints, VPN connectivity and transit gateway. So the next week topics will be VPC configuration will be completed, and after that I will try to complete. I will try to start the EC2 also. Let us see what is going to happen. Okay, that's all for today. And from tomorrow onwards, whatever the things that you are going to do, if you want to attend this AWS classes, then definitely you have to register for this. So contact DURGASOFT for the same, and you will get a new meeting ID. So into that meeting ID only you have to log in. So today is the last free demo class. Yes,
Sir, sir, I do have one query actually.
Yeah.
I'm working professional. I'm working as a .NET developer actually. And currently I got one work related to the storage actually, AWS S3 storage. On that I'm working. I'm migrating our documents to that storage. For
Okay.
that purpose, I want to learn the AWS actually. But by listening your class today, I've come to know that there is a lot of different concept I need to learn, that is networking and all these things. Just my question is it okay for the developer? Because I'm
Absolutely, it is perfect for the developer. As a developer, you are having knowledge on .NET. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you try to understand what happens in the backend in the sense, I think as a developer, you don't know how servers will be, how you are going to deploy your applications in the servers, or else what is meant by load balancing, how load balancing can be happened. You are just going with the as per my understanding, as you said that I am going with the storage only. We'll discuss about the storage also, but in the back end, the concept is how all the things are happening, how we can migrate, or also there are so many users. How can I create the users with the permissions and everything, each and every thing that is related to your company, you will understand what is happening in the back end. So development of the application will be done by the developer, but when the application is completely developed, and if you want to deploy that application in the servers, deploying in this installing, how we are going to install that, what are the different services that we have to use, how one server will communicate with the another server, or else how users can communicate with the servers. Now, if there are so many backup servers will be there, and production servers will be there, how they will communicate with each other. So this entire cloud topic you will understand. For the developer, when they are migrating, so see, if you learn AWS today, what will be happening is when you migrate to the cloud so nowadays all companies are trying to migrate to the cloud. So when they try to migrate to the cloud, for the developers also, it is very necessary to understand the cloud infrastructure. So in AWS, we are going to learn about the complete cloud resources. What are the different resources? What are the different options that are available on the cloud? If you can understand in the primary situation only, at the prime time only. Now, if you get another project on AWS also, so it is very clear that, okay, this is about the VPCs, these many number of servers I have to deploy, and this is about the application which I have to run, these many number of IAM users I have to create. As a developer, you will have a clear picture also. So whenever you are developing any application, you will have this clear picture. Okay, this is what they are doing, so that you can easily analyze each and everything. Okay, it is not only mandatory for the infrastructure developers, but also it is mandatory to learn the AWS configuration for the developers also. Okay.
okay, got it. Because VPC, transit gateway, all this configuration is handled by the someone else actually, not by us actually.
They will be handled by the other person, but it is if you learn that, then that will be a add-on benefit for you. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Thank
that
you
is what I want to say. Thank you. And we'll meet about, we will go with the next configuration in the next class. Any questions regarding that, you can ask me now. Any another
Sir,
question?
daily the record videos will be providing, right? For every
Of course.
weekend class, and as well notes also, right?
See, notes will not be provided. Again, I have to say.
Okay.
Notes in the sense, I will not dictate any notes. Okay, I will show you the conditions. So this is how you can get that. Why? Because saying the notes and clearing the class will take another 10 weeks. Okay, it is not possible, but I will show you how you can get the details. Okay.
So that videos after completion of the course, so can we access for the how many months, sir? Once complete the course?
6 months.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
One question. Today only I joined the class actually. From tomorrow is actually going to be start the course actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
these are all the demo sessions.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And one last question regarding the charges. What will be the charges for this account actually? Because I don't have any idea.
You have created a free tier account, but
Okay.
whenever we are discussing about the topics, at the time of the topic only, I will tell you about that. So, so tomorrow VPC is free of cost. VPC peering is free of cost, but VPC NAT gateway, you have to pay somewhere like 5 rupees per hour.
Okay.
Okay. That
Means
depends.
okay. So without paying, I'm not able to get any kind of the service actually.
No, it is not like it is a postpaid. I hope you understand this. Postpaid in the sense, you can utilize the services for one month. After the utilization of the services, a bill will be generated at the 3rd of the month. You have to pay after the 3rd of the next month. Okay. So for whatever the previous month utilization that you have done, you will get a bill at 3rd. So you need to pay for that utilization on the 3rd of the next month.
Okay, but I'm giving my debit card, and how it would be possible? Your point is okay that whatever I'm using, I need to pay afterwards.
You are giving your debit card for the verification purpose.
Okay.
Not for the debiting. Auto debiting option you did not select, right?
Okay.
So you have given the debit card that I am having this particular account on this this bank.
Okay.
And this is an authorized bank. So you can debit 2 rupees. So they cut 2 rupees from your bank. And after 1 week, before 1 week only, before 1 week or before some 48 to 72 working hours, they will recredit your 2 rupees. Okay, AWS will recredit it. And the thing is, after utilization, you have to pay. They will not auto debit. If you want to select the auto debit option, you can select the auto debit option also. But so if you don't want, then you can go for the selection of these things. So you have to pay the bill after the 3rd of the next month. Every 3rd the bill will be generated, like your postpaid. How much utilization that you have done, you have to pay after the next month. Then in the next month you have to pay the bill. In the same manner here also, AWS also doing the same. They did not took your card, or else they did not took your card credentials. They have just analyzed the, okay, this card belongs to a recognized bank and we can provide the account. So unrecognized bank, if there is any person who is transacting, so we don't know, some persons will start some services and they will leave like that only. When they leave the services, for example, NAT gateway is there. For example, transit gateway is there. For example, RDS configurations are there. These are very costly ones. Like if you see NAT gateway is 5 rupees per hour. For 24 hours, if you just deploy the NAT gateway and left it, okay, and you think that, okay, we did not pay for the next one, so there is no necessity for paying that. So what is going to happen? NAT gateway will continuously run for 30 days. So 30 into 24 into 5. So you have to calculate somewhere like 24 into 5 in the sense it will be around 120 rupees per day and 3,600 rupees per month only for NAT gateway. If you left it like this, if you don't pay, to whom they have to contact? So for your identity and for your getting the acknowledgement, they are taking that banking details only, not for you have to pay for the bill. Okay. Until you pay, and after they will give you some time, like up to 9th or 10th. After 10th, what they are going to do, they will, after some days, they will continue. You don't need to worry about the bill payment. So 1 month also they will provide the time. After that, after 1 month, what they are going to do here is they will block your account. If you don't pay the bill for 1 or 2 months, automatically they will block your account. Until you pay the bills, your account will not be unblocked. And if you, unfortunately, if you run any services, you cannot access your AWS account, the services will be running in the account itself. You have to pay for that services also. So you need to be very careful whenever you are using the account.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have some more few doubts, sir. Can you teach EMR also, sir?
No.
Okay. Okay. So can you tell, I mean, any Spark jobs running on the AWS cluster, that kind of Spark jobs?
We will discuss that when we are going for the load balancing things.
In load balance. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else?
Sir, one more question. Like, could you
Mhm.
please recommend before starting any of the chapter so we can read those chapters before attending the classes, so it will be easy to help us to easily understand
Come
those
again.
things.
Come again. Can you please come again once?
Like tomorrow you are going to start VPC, so what is the related topic we need to understand, like a basic, so that previously we can
If
study
anything,
that way.
if anything you want to learn previously before learning the topic, definitely I will tell you before the day only. Okay, you don't need to worry about that. If that is very important for you to learn some another concepts, definitely I will tell you. As I said you that go through the networking concept once before you coming today. So before you come tomorrow for learning VPC, you have to go through the networking concept once. Okay, I am not asking you to go for in-depth analysis of networking, but yes, you need to go through the networking concept once. Why? Because VPC is completely belongs to the networking. Okay, definitely I will say you don't need to worry about that. Whenever we are going into the each and every concept, I will tell you, I will give you a clear explanation about that, what we are going to learn. And after then only we will be starting the class. I will give you a scenario, and after providing the scenario, then I will go into the class. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. That's it. Okay, guys, we'll meet in the next session. Have a nice day and bye.
Thank you, sir.
Sunil, you can terminate the session because you are the host now.
Yes, by clicking on stop recording.
Yeah,
Or
no,
end.
not the stop recording. Yeah, you can provide me the host access. Okay. Just right click on my name. You can see make him host.
Okay.
If you see down, there are participants. Click on participants.
Yes.
And there Chaitanya Gannavaram is there. Right click on that name. You can see make him host.
Above, I'm able to see the names actually. I did the right click on that one.
Or else you can select more option will be there. Not right click, just click on the name. You can select the more option. Mute and more options are available. Click on more.
Yeah.
There you can see make host.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, done.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to say. And tomorrow we'll discuss about the VPC configuration, which are interesting, which is a very interesting concept. And then we will be deploying some servers, key page, and all the things you will come to know about that. You don't need to worry that you are a developer. You will understand each and everything very simply. As a developer also, it is very mandatory to have the infrastructure related understanding. So that's all. Have a nice day. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.